Lead Out Cycling Academy kicking things off, and then we'll be going in batches of 4. So 4 teams separated by 1 minute, and then we'll have a break, wait for those 4 teams to finish before having the next batch of 4 teams get underway as time. And that's to avoid obviously having 20 teams on a 3-kilometer circuit at a single time in a team time trial, which, let's be honest, could get quite chaotic. So off the back right here, number 34, that is Manu the Shoemaker. He's off the back for the Lead Out Cycling Academy. Only 3 riders left up front for the team. Manu has done his job for the day. And up front for the Lead Out Cycling Academy, we have Florin Appeltans, Moritz Bartz, and Sepp Brion. Here are the 3 riders remaining up front for the Lead Out Cycling Academy. Unfortunately, already potentially decisive in the GC. If it's not decided already today, which I highly doubt it will be, we're going to have some time gaps coming to the fore after today's team time trial. And with many of the favourites for this race already behind in the GC, I think we're going to have such a fiery couple of days at this race, and it's going to be a really exciting watch. Anyway, the Lead Out Cycling Academy doing well here. They lost one of their riders on the first kind of circuit, just a few kilometers into this 9-kilometer team time trial. That was Manu the Shoemaker. He went out the back. And now we have Florian Appeltans, Moritz Barth, and Sepp Brion here. The three riders remaining working together in this team time trial for the Lead Out Cycling Academy. And not long to go now left in this team time trial. What sort of benchmark can they set? They're going into first place. The question is, how will this time stand up as this stage 2A progresses? And there is Florian Appeltans just pushing through to the front now on this final drag up to the finish line. His teammates trying to hold his wheel. It's a cruel end to this team time trial here in Thimister today. Nice to see some local cyclists and fans out as well, watching the riders come by. We'll see plenty of that later on today, no doubt, with stage 2B taking place in and around the same town. Appeltans now sitting on the back wheel, but it's not easy. The head is swinging side to side, shoulders rocking. 100 meters to go here for the Lead Out Cycling Academy as they round the final corner of stage 2A here at Aubel Thimister Stavelot. What sort of time are they going to put together across the line? The Lead Out Cycling Academy set the benchmark for today's team time trial. And there we go. The first team have officially completed their routes of the circuit. And that was a lonely watch for us, a lonely couple of laps for the Lead Out Cycling Academy. But like I said, we will now have batches of 4 teams set off at each time at 1-minute intervals. So we'll have plenty going on the circuit. And that's going to make for a bit more chaos on the circuit as well. Yeah, so that's going to really shake things up a little bit. With last year's winner of this team time trial, they'll be going last at around about 12 p.m. CET. And that's, of course, Gronka Orta Edda, the feeder team for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. And they've won this race in the last 2 years. And they also won this team time trial last year by a dominant margin of 18 seconds as well. So they're really the team to look out for. They'll be last starting their team time trial. And yeah, I'm really looking forward today to discovering some of these junior riders with all of you watching as well, because we've had some notable names win this race and do well in this race as well. Not even winners, even riders who finished in the top 10 here and podiumed this race in previous years, we've seen go on to have fantastic pro careers. So it really is a look into the future of pro cycling we're having here today. A real treat for us. And so the Lead Out Cycling Academy do set the benchmark 11 minutes 16 seconds 0.9. Let's see how that time stands up, shall we, as this stage progresses. now. So we had 4 riders starting for the Lead Out Cycling Academy. And we do have another minute or so before the Mixed Velo Club Ardennes. The Velo Club Ardennes gets underway. A team who actually start with 3 riders today, as you can see on the start line. Yeah, half of their team have already stepped off the bike and won't be starting today's stage. So a team decimated by yesterday's unfortunate DNFs. And on the line for this team, ready to get underway, Basil Bovy, Aaron Henkes, and Louis Jeanfi. So let's see how these guys get underway. 3 Belgians on the start line. No start ramp for today's team time trial like you might see in a big World Tour race. Anyway, let's see what the Velo Club Ardennes can do here. And actually, despite only having 3 riders remaining in the race and being the hit team of all with 3 DNFs yesterday, they still have 2 riders up there in the GC. That is Aaron Henkes and Louis Jeanfi. So 2 options in the GC still to play. At 39 seconds in the GC, they currently sit. And the other on the Basil Bovy, who we're getting a look at here in the foreground, number 67 for Velo Club Ardennes. They should be starting imminently here. Away we go. Velo Club Ardennes get their team time trial underway, and just 3 riders getting underway for them. It's going to be a really tricky time for them today to try and limit the losses. As here we go, we're going to have immediately coming to the start line the next team, and it is, of course, Uno X Carl-Ras Roskilde. You may have guessed from the name, of course, a team who are made up of Danish riders. And a good development outfit. We've seen riders like Theodore Storm come out of this team in recent years. He went on to ride for the Ineos Grenadiers. Henrik Pedersen rode for this as well. He's recently had a great tour of Denmark. As away we go, Uno X Carl-Ras Roskilde get their team time trial underway. They have 5 riders on the start line. Let's see how they go today. And still a few options in the GC for those guys as well. And so, looking at their lineup, Rasmus Jespersen Helt Hansen, what a name. Mikkel William Varnor Seifert. I mean, that is just an incredible Danish name, which as a native English speaker is not the easiest to say. Anton Fredriksson as well for Uno X. Magnus Hugard Lohmann Madsen and Gustav Schluter. As we immediately see the next team underway, this is Bix Brain Square Olympia. They get underway too, but we cut straight back to Uno X Carl-Ras Roskilde, I should say. And 5 riders in their team. They did lose Elias Anderson yesterday, which is a potentially big loss for them. Rider who has won this season. He DNF'd yesterday. Let's see what these guys can do. Three wins for Uno X Carl-Ras Roskilde so far this season. And 2 of them come from Magnus Haugaard Lohmann Madsen, so he could be their rider to watch. As now we have the 4th team underway in a 4-minute period. That's Velo Club on the Ons Parike. So 4 teams on the road now on this 3-kilometer circuit. And now we're going to watch these 4 teams, watch them do their 3 laps of this 3-kilometer circuit on the roads. These 4 teams will go, and then we'll have the next batch of 4 riders underway. So that's how we're managing today's team time trial. Anyway, we're having a good look here at Uno X Carlras Roskilde. And on the back, that's Rasmus Jespersen Helt Hansen, big figure, number 146. Now, slowly dropping to the back of the group after doing a big turn on the front. That is Mikkel William Varno Seifert, who, like I said, has a very tricky name to pronounce, but we're going to try for Mikkel William. And you can see Rasmus Jespersen Helt Hansen, the biggest figure in that team, number 146. Now dropping to the back, Gustav Schluter as Uno X Carlras Roskilde complete their first lap, or all but complete their first lap of this 3-kilometer circuit. There you go, first lap complete for them. And after this batch of teams, we're really going to get an idea of who is setting the benchmark today and what the time to beat could be. Of course, we've only had 1 team so far. That is the Lead Out Cycling Academy, setting the benchmark, and we're yet to have a second team finishing their 3 laps of this circuit. But having a good look at the finish line here, Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. Other riders to have come out of the Uno X Roskilde Cycling Academy feature Tobias Lund Andresen in recent years, who, as we know, is a very talented rider racing there. And here we go. The next team coming through. This has to be the BIQS Brain Square Olympia TNN team. Flying through. We're going to struggle to have a real benchmark of how these teams are going in the team time trial until we get to the finish line. But the Brain Square Olympia TNN quite nicely there. Looking good. Looking good. Still with a number of riders en route as we now wait for the Vila Club Onda Ons Parike team. At the finish line, at least. And here they come. Onda Ons Parike come flying through, a team still with all 6 riders in the race. And I believe all 6 riders still riding through together there. So still riding as one unit. And that is going to really help any team who still has 6 strong riders available to start today, because having smaller teams in junior racing compared to Grand Tours, 6 riders for each team on the start line here, it means each rider lost counts even more so. So yeah, 6 riders for Onda Ons Parike still riding through nicely together. A team who, by the way, still have plenty of riders up there in the GC as well, at that crucial 39 second point. But we're still waiting for the top 10, for any rider who finished in the top 10 yesterday to get underway. As now, I do believe this is Velo Club Ardennes coming back through. Still with their 3 riders they started today with. They're riding together. And here they are, Velo Club Ardennes. With Basil Bovy, Aaron Henkes, and Louis Jeanfi. Basil Bovy on the back right now. He's number 67 with a quite unique pedaling style there. The head bobbing slightly, almost Jonathan Milan sprint style on the back there. Just keeping things ticking over. And it's Louis Jeanfi we see on the front for this team, hurling his teammates down this descent. And they're on their final lap now of this circuit, of this 3-kilometer circuit, making up a 9-kilometer team time trial. But look at this. Oh, wow. Velo Club Ardennes starting with 3 riders. And it's really cost them here, like I said, because they've been caught already by the Uno X Ras Roskilde Club, who have 5 riders starting today's team time trial. So Velo Club Ardennes really, unfortunately for them, suffering and not putting in a strong time after, unfortunately, losing 3 of their riders yesterday. Carl Ras Roskilde come flying by as they negotiate Velo Club Ardennes there. And also Uno X losing 1 rider off the back. That is number 149, Magnus Haugaard Lohmann Madsen. He's done his work. Like we said, big rider. He's done a big turn for his team here. And now can Velo Club Ardennes refine some sort of momentum here in the final kilometer or so for their team time trial. As we have another look at the finish line here, slowly a few more spectators out to support him. And across the line right there, I do believe is a Velo Club Onderons Parike starting their final lap of this circuit. So next up to cross the finish line will be the Uno X Carl Ras Roskilde team, who have overtaken Velo Club Ardennes in this team time trial, and Velo Club Ardennes only starting with 3 riders, really unfortunate for them. And now we're getting another look at Velo Club Ardennes, now with 2 riders remaining on this final drag up to the line, 500 meters left for Velo Club Ardennes. But up the road, you can see Uno X Carl Ras Roskilde, who are surely going to set the best time so far today. They will only be the 2nd team across the line, but they look to be on a great team time trial, working well together. The team of all Danish riders. And there they are across the line. Uno X Carl Ras Roskilde, and we wait to see exactly their time. But a great ride by the Danish boys. And now Velo Club Ardennes. Louis Jeanfi has done a lot of work for the team. Aaron Henkes and Basil Bovy will be next across the line. The 2 riders left for Velo Club Ardennes as we see Uno X finish. And there you go. There's Velo Club Ardennes as well, just coming across the line as well. And there is the final rider for Uno X Carl Ras Roskilde. And we wait to see exactly how good their time was. But I am sure they will be going into the lead. As we get a look here at the behind the scenes. Maybe some social media filming going on right there. So next across the line, it should be BIQS Brain Squared Olympia. And I think this is them just crossing the line right now with 3 riders just about together there. Again, we wait to see how strong their effort today is. And now one final team left to come across the line on this kind of first batch of 4. And that is the Vila Club under Ons Parike team. As we see the full Brain Squared Olympia team come across the line here. Good job by those guys today. And here we go. Another rider coming across the finish line. And I do believe, here we go. That is the Vila Club under ONS Parike team. And they seemed very close to Brain Squared Olympia. So I actually believe Vila Club Onda have put in a great time and potentially run Uno X Carl Ras Roskilde close there. And we look forward to seeing the times. Because many of these teams have riders at 39 seconds in the GC. And depending how their team time trial goes today can really set up the later stage in today's race. Of course, stage 2B taking place later in Thimister. But yeah, being a junior race, we don't have intermediate checks and results immediately like you might have in the Tour de France or other big races. So we wait to see exactly how good each time was from the respective 4 teams there. But my money's on Uno X Carl Roskilde. They look really good. We had a good look at them on their run. And yeah, I think they're probably into the provisional lead. Let's see about that. And you have to feel for the Velo Club Ardennes outfit, who started with 3 riders today. Their team halved in numbers after just 1 stage yesterday. The only team to lose 3 riders to a DNF yesterday, and they were overtaken by Uno X Carl Ras Roskilde today. And that's going to put pay to all of their riders' GC chances, sadly. And maybe opens up the chance to attack later on. Let's see. But 4 teams to the road next. And we're just getting a look at the first group of riders. Here we go. This is the Gepler Watersleigh R&D cycling team. A team who I believe should have 4 riders on the start line today, but I only see 3 here today. They had 4 riders finish yesterday's stage, so let's see if they have a 4th to the start line here. A team made up of different nationalities, actually. We have Oliver Tregia from the UK, Jonathan David Morales from Colombia, Amos Scott Boris from Canada, and also Patrick Zakarazuski from Sweden. But maybe one of their riders won't be taking to the start line today, so another team who really have been depleted in their numbers. And I do believe it is just going to be 3 riders taking to the start line here for Gepler Watersleigh R&D cycling team. You can see their riders on screen right there. Sadly, we've already lost Jonathan Cruz Rubio and Ronan Rivera de Rosales. They didn't finish yesterday's stage. And they're going to be the first of our next group of 4 teams underway. Still wait to see exactly which rider won't be starting today's stage. but readying themselves. Here we go. The Gepler Watersley R&D Road Cycling Team. With just 3 riders. So just like the Velo Club Ardennes outfit who kicked off our previous batch of 4 teams, they're only going to have 3 riders, half of their initial outfit starting today's stage, which is a massive disadvantage, as we just learned in today's team time trial. Here we go. They're about to get underway. And the Gepler Watersley R&D cycling team gets underway with 3 riders. So can they hold off the Crabber Dynasty, the Crabber Destiny team, who now roll to the start line? And here we go. 6 riders for Crabber Destiny getting underway. Still with their full squad who started yesterday's stage. And they still have all but one of their riders up there in the GC at 39 seconds. So this is a team who could do some damage here. A full squad of 6 riders, and away go the Crabber Destiny team. Nan Dubois is their best placed rider in the overall classification with a 28th place yesterday, but also in that same group, Robin Myers, Arno Delimont, Stan van Hissenhoven, and Zachary Moreau. And those 5 riders are all at the same 39-second spot in the GC. So Crabber Destiny with their 6 riders. We just saw Uno X Carl Roskilde catch the Velo Club Ardennes outfit, who started, of course, with 3 riders, just like the Gepler Watersley R&D team up the road. So can Crabber Destiny also catch a team of 3 riders in this 9-kilometer circuit? Anyway, behind them, the GMS cycling team Glabik. Still with 6 riders as well, so a strong position for them. As we cut back and have another look at the Crabber Destiny outfit. And Crabber Destiny, who, as we can see on screen, 6 riders in their squad. And last year, they had a pretty strong race, actually. And their squad did indeed feature one of the favourites for this year's race, Seth Van Kerkhoven, who was 8th place last year at this race. He's come back to win it now with the decathlon team. They're not underway yet, though. We have the REV cycling team underway next. Again, 6 riders in their squad. Oh, sorry. Not quite 6 riders in their squad, starting today's stage. The REV Brussels Cycling Academy, that is. The 4th and final team of this batch of 4 squads getting underway. Anyway, we're going to focus in here on the Crabber Destiny team. And like I was saying, Seth Van Kerkhoven, who rode for this team last year, did finish in 8th place in the GC and really made a name for himself in last year's race and season in general. Up the road, Gepler Watersley R&D cycling team complete their first lap. They're trying to hold off the Crabber Destiny outfit here, which is not going to be easy with half the manpower. Anyway, Seth Van Kerkhoven, like I said, let's focus in on him for a moment. He's a rider who will be up there, surely fighting for the overall victory at this year's Aubel Thimister Stavelot. He's had a great season for decathlon, and his brother racing for the Visma team actually at the Vuelta a Burgos at the moment. So he was the big discovery from Crabber Destiny last season. We have 6 other new young riders here for Crabber Destiny completing their first lap. And could one of these riders be on their way to making a real name for themselves here at Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot this year? They just might be. You never know. They have plenty of riders still in contention in the GC. Now on their second lap of this 3-lap circuit, just 3 kilometers. So we can get to know this circuit. After the start line, we do have this kind of downhill drag. You can see the riders on the back stopping pedaling, sitting in the draft, really recovering some energy on that downhill section. And I expect we'll see the big powerhouse riders, the strong rouleurs, go to the front on this section to drag their maybe slighter riders down this descent. And then we have that rise to the line, which kind of starts here about halfway around the circuit. As we cut back to the start-finish line. But clearly, the camera focusing on Crabber Destiny on this circuit. As we do have some updated times from the previous batch of teams. So Velo Club Ardennes did 12 minutes and 2 seconds. They are currently the 5th of 5 teams. Unuet's Carl Ruskilde with the best time so far at 10 minutes 35. So they took almost 1.5 minutes out of Velo Club Ardennes, who only had 3 riders in this team time trial. Olympia TNN with 11 minutes 33, and also Velo Club on the Ons with 11 minutes and 2 seconds into second place so far. And that also leaves the Lead Out Cycling Academy in third place, who had that lonely start to today's team time trial. So that's a good team by the Lead Out Cycling Academy, especially when you consider they only had 3 riders for much of the course, starting with 4, losing a rider early on the first lap. But here, Crabber Destiny really working well together as a 6-rider unit still. All 6 riders who started this race and stage for the team working well together. As up the roads, the Gepler Watersleigh R&D cycling team working hard to try and hold off Crabber Destiny. And they're doing a good job of that, to be fair, considering they have 3 riders compared to the 6 of Crabber Destiny here we're focusing on. Stan van Hissenhoven there, number 11, second from the back. Really tucked down into a good aerodynamic time trialing position. And I do believe on the back there is number 9, Robin Myers. But still, starting their final lap of this 3-kilometer circuit, Crabber Destiny. All 6 riders working together, although I do believe that could be it for Dan Williamson there. Number 12, he's done his work, and oof, he's gone. Dan Wilmson, if I can pronounce his name, Dan Wilmson, with a massive turn for Crabber Destiny, doing some big work, and now 5 riders remaining for this team. There's the downhill section. Little kicker uphill. Now we'll have a slightly technical couple of corners before rising back uphill for the final kilometre here for Crabber Destiny's team time trial. So 25 teams in today's race, and we'll have 9 complete at the end of this batch of teams, the second batch of 4 teams to get underway. And Gepler Watersley R&D cycling team are working hard up the road to try and hold off the 6-rider outfit of Crab of Destiny. Only 5 left on the road for them here after Dan Wilmson was dropped. Let's see what Crab of Destiny can do here. Working really well together as a unit, and this time could run the Unox Ras Roskilde club close. Currently holding the lead, Unox Carl Ras Roskilde. But now, rising now, we're going to have the final 800 meters or so for the Crab of Destiny outfit. The road kicks uphill here and doesn't stop rising all the way to the finish line here in Thimister. Look at that long drag up the road. And to be fair to Gepler Watersley R&D, they're up the road and out of sight. They've managed to hold off Crab of Destiny, who are sprinting for the line here, trying to work together, losing formation briefly. But trying to empty the now our Crab of Destiny all the way to the finish line. One of their riders just going off the front, actually, dropping his comrades. As there we go. Gepler Watersley R&D do indeed hold off the Crab of Destiny team, despite starting with Destiny, who have one rider just rolling off the front there in that final. But Crab of Destiny have surely beaten the Gepler Watersley R&D cycling team with their 3-man advantage. So let's see. Let's wait and see exactly how their times have gone. We now have 2 more teams on circuit. The GMS cycling team Glabake and the RAV Brussels cycling team. And the wait is long as we sit here at the finish line for the GMS cycling team Glabake. But that was interesting. Very interesting. Let's see how the times unfold, and can anyone knock Unox Carl Ras Roskilde off top spot? That's the big question. We'll soon find out. So the third group of 4 teams soon to get underway here at Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot, and the first of which is going to be the Cams Majako team, a team solely made up of British riders here at this race. Featuring the twin brothers, Samuel Delamere and Milo Delamere. Gustafsson, Mark Ketteringham, Alex Coles, and Harley Widowson will be taking to the start line for Cam's Majako here. And a team still with all 6 of their riders who started this race. So they should be in a good position to potentially challenge for the lead here. Of course, depending what sort of time they can put together. Now, we of course wait to see as we do have a look at their lineup. We wait to see how their race is going to unfold and who will be their leader. But Milo de la Mer, one of the brothers, is a winner this season already. Well, at the Gipuzkoa Clasicoa in Spain, he put in a strong performance there. So Milo de la Mer could be a rider to watch for the overall GC. You never know. But a lot of that will depend on what sort of team time trial this squad can put together here. So Cam's Majako will be next underway. And I do believe we're going to see a strong time from them today. Let's have a look, though. Gustafsson also on the start line. He was 5th place at Liège-Bastogne-Liège under the junior race this year. So another rider who will really like tomorrow's stage featuring the Murder Stoku. And part of junior racing is, of course, we're learning about these riders more and more with every race, establishing themselves and learning themselves at what they're good at as a pro and where their strengths and potentially weaknesses lie as well. As Cam's Majako, with the final moments before they start their team time trial, 6 riders ready to get underway. And can they maybe challenge for the lead here? Let's see. Let's see. A lead which I do believe is still held by Inuit's Carl Ras Roskilde. And away we go. Cam's Majako, the 6-rider unit, full squad, start their team time trial and kick off its 3rd batch of 4 teams. As the next team roll in immediately, this is the WWV Hagens Berman Jayco squad. Featuring some strong riders in their outfit, including Sven Dijkman, Oli Jurovec, Eric Igsund Oxnes, Mats Royackers, Sjoerd Spanjaard, and Job van der Bigelaar. So 6 riders again. The WWV. There they are, the 6 riders on your screen, and away they go. As we're getting to slowly the portion of the time trial now where some of the really big teams who could challenge for the big places and big awards at this race get underway. And next up in that group, Akrog Tormans. However, they have lost one rider. They did lose Hamish Carson on yesterday's stage 1. That could be a big loss for them. And certainly you'd think it would hurt them in today's team time trial as well. So let's see how these guys go. Their best placed rider in the GC is Thomas Verdonk, as you can see. There are 5 riders remaining minus Hamish Carson, who unfortunately did not finish yesterday. And away they go. Akrog Tormans. Just 5 riders. Let's see if it hurts them in this team time trial. Here we go. The final team from this batch, it's the Groupama FDJ United under 19 team. So, of course, the feeder team for the big Groupama FDJ squad in the World Tour. Chance for these 6 riders to really make a name for themselves. Clermont Lefebvre was 19th place from this squad yesterday. They have numerous riders as well at that kind of magic 39-second window in the GC. And let's see how Groupama FDJ United go as well. As those 4 teams now take on their first lap of this 3-kilometer circuit. As we're having a look here at WWV. The team featuring some strong riders completing their first lap. The likes of Oli Jirovic riding for them. He's had a good season. Some strong results in there. See how they go here, though. 6 riders still together after they complete their first lap. A little break in their train formation, though. Trying to close it here, but we have kind of 2 trains of 3 riders here. And Willebroad Will Weyroot, the WWV team, they're not quite in crisis, but you wouldn't hope for this splits in this downhill section here, spending some definitely unnecessary energy. Can they hold this together? Trying to glue this gap back together and keep all 6 riders in formation, which will be helpful in this team time trial. Of course, we've seen that the advantage it is to have 6 riders here compared to 3 riders already here in today's stage 2A of Aubel at Thimister Stavelot. Back to the finish line. There go JMS. Sorry, Agrog Tormans. But we are going to focus here on WWV. And I believe they still have 6 riders together, but 1 rider just off the bat trying to get back on. As we get a professional look at the of course, finish time so far, that's Unoet's Carlos Roskilde with the best time so far. And by a good margin as well. Although some of their opponents have had depleted squads. So let's see how they go after this batch of riders come through. I do think we are going to lose a rider here from WWV. Let's see, though. Let's see. Five riders still together, working hard on this, their second lap. As there you go, flying through the start-finish line, Cam's Majako. That should be their final lap they're embarking on now. And I think we're going to see some good times here from this squad. As finally we get the updates from the previous batch of squads, and Crabber Destiny They're only 3 seconds behind Unuet's Carl Rasmuskilda. I thought they might have run them close, and they don't quite get there. Some good times in general, though. The RAV Brussels cycling team in third place now. But Crab of Destiny at 3 seconds, almost taking the provisional lead, not quite. Still, Unuet's Carl Rasmuskilda in pole position. As we're coming to the halfway point of this team time trial. Over halfway through now, though, is this batch of 4 teams. Let's see how they go. Groupama FDJ United on the right. Augustin Fahy could be their rider to watch at this race, having a really good season, the young French rider. Not seeing them on the road yet, though. On the road ahead of us, you can see this squad going downhill. This technical section of the course where some time can be really gained on your position, depending on the risks each rider is willing to take. Now coming into the final kilometre or so of the circuit. WWV started with 6 riders. They still have 5 in their formation here. That's Matt Royackers on the back, number 82. As we're seeing up the road, actually, a rider. Is that a rider from Cam's Majako just up the road? Or could this be another broken formation for WWV? Nope, that's a rider from Cam's getting dropped on the right-hand side of the road. He's dropped back from his teammates, done his work for the day for the British outfit up the road. But we're really focusing on WWV. What sort of time can they put together? But up the road, here we go. Cam's Majako. Not quite coming to the line. That's Groupama FDJ United Under 19 featuring Augustin Fahy. Could be their leader, like I said, in this race. WWV now coming into the final 500 meters or so, which is all uphill in this 3-kilometer circuit here in Thimister. Trying to keep these 5 riders together. They're not going to do it, though. Some riders struggling to hold on. That could be Sven Dijkman off the back here on the right-hand side. Also, Oli Jurovic, number 80. He's gone too. And there's 3 riders left for WWV. Jurovic done some great work for his team there. Completely cracking on this final climb. This riser to the line. It's short, but it must be horrible after going all out for 8.5 kilometers to this point. And there's 3 riders left here. Osknes, Vanden Bigelaar, and I believe also Royackers for WWV. 3 riders coming to the line in this team time trial. And across the line they go. Let's see their finish line time in a couple of minutes or so. As there we have the Van Moor Logistic Club getting ready as well for their team time trial today. Just readying themselves, composing themselves before a crucial stage in the GC. You're unlikely to win the GC in this team time trial, but you could most definitely lose it with a poor time from your squad. Anyway, we've now had 13 riders coming through in today's team time trial, meaning we have 12 left. So we're just about over halfway through this stage 2A of Aubel Thimister Stavelot. Hope you're enjoying watching today. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this stage unfolds. We're really going to have a shaken up GC picture after today's stage. So this should be good. This should be a good fun Fun day. We get two stages in one. The classic A and B stages in one day used to happen so often in pro cycling. You rarely see it now, but nice to see it at Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot here today. And we wait to see the times of the likes of WWV and also Groupama FDJ United, who previously have won this race with actually David Gaudu won this race. And of course, went on to do very good things as well, and still does good things as well in the pro ranks. So yeah, the list of honors at this race is pretty. Yeah, you have some really big names who've won this race in the past. So I'm hoping this year we're going to see the emergence of some real new stars in pro cycling as well. And I think some of the bigger teams will be starting a little later on. Surely for this time trial, Gronka Auto Edda, they'll be last to start at 12 p.m. CET. As there come Groupama FDJ United, 4 riders finishing together for their squad. Their 5th rider there rolling across the line. Dan had some great work for the team. And their final rider, there we go. For Groupama FDJ United. So 13 riders are now indeed done. And we wait to see exactly how they got on. But I'm very much enjoying this time trial here today. Hope you guys are as well here on Safe Stream, Safe Cycling. 3 batches of 4 teams remaining. Just 3 batches. And we still have the 2 riders I would call the pre-race favourites to get underway. Of course, that's Carl Herzog and Seth Van Kerkova. They'll be getting underway a little later on with their respective teams. Also, race leader for Gronka Auto Eder. I'm, of course, talking about my Bohack, who won yesterday's stage from a breakaway, really, that really shattered in the final. He'll be last underway too, as we have the final rider for Groupama FDJ across the line as well. He did some big work for his team, surely. Lonely team time trial for him. Anyway, that is now all 4 teams from that 3rd batch of 4 finishing. And we wait to see how Cams Majako, WWV, Akrog Tormans, and Groupama FDJ United under-19s have gone. Can any of them knock off Unuet's Carl Rasfraskilde off top spots? They've held it for a little while now, held off the likes of Crabber Destiny. And next to the start line will be the Van Moer Logistics cycling team, who I'm keen to see today. As you can see there on the right-hand side, Unuet's Carl Rasfraskilde holding off Crabber Destiny by just 3 seconds. Good times by both of those teams so far, though. So now we wait. We wait for Van Moer Logistics cycling team, who are due to set off at 11:19 CET, so 3 minutes from now. The likes of Sunde Volk and Antonios Papadopoulos, the Greek rider for Van Moer Logistics. They're in a good position in the GC. And Unuet's Carl Rasfraskilde also in a great position in the GC provisionally after today's team time trial. Let's see if they can hold on to that first place. Still the big teams to come. Gronka Auto Eder, my favourites, surely to win this stage. Stage 2A. The likes of Sudal Quickstep under 19, Decathlon CMA CGM under 19 as well. Still to come. So some big World Tour development squads still to come today. As we actually have the times. So, Van Moor Cycling Club are next underway. The Van Moor Logistics Cycling Team. Sundar Volk is their best placed rider in the GC, number 25. He was 22nd place yesterday. And Antonios Papadopoulos, who I believe is actually Greek, his nationality not quite right on screen. He was 26th as well, so keen to see how he goes today. Antonios Papadopoulos. A rider who has done well in the Belgian scene this year. 21st at Liège-Bastogne-Liège Juniors earlier this year. He could be their GC leader for the Van Moor Logistics team. Antonios Papadopoulos. And 6 riders on the start line for this squad. Let's see how they go. Readying themselves. Still a few moments to go. Composing themselves before they get underway. I do believe that is Papadopoulos on the far side of the road. As here we go, the Van Moor Logistics team get underway. Kicking off this 4th batch of 4 teams, we have an intriguing setup for today's team time trial with a 3-kilometer circuit ridden 3 times, making up a 9-kilometer route. But given it's only a short 3-kilometer circuit, we have teams setting off 4 at a time at 1-minute intervals and then waiting until they finish their full 9-kilometer routes until the next batch get underway. Anyway, the Avia Ruduccio cycling team. Avia Ruduccio cycling team. Next underway. Let's see how Avia go here. One of their riders just losing balance slightly. Second in from the left. As away they go. The team again with plenty of options still in the GC. They had 4 riders finish at that 39-second window yesterday, finishing with the bunch essentially. They did lose Kobe Vervaet, who unfortunately won't be starting today's stage. As next up, here we go. The team Tiepolo Under-19 squad, which is the development squad for NSN. You can probably tell that by their jerseys. A team who will have big ambitions for this race and do have a rider inside the top 10. That is Santiago Rolich, the Austrian, who was 7th place yesterday, but only at 14 seconds in the GC. So he finds himself in a strong position, does Rolich. They did lose Noah Finn yesterday, did Tiepolo NSN. Shame for them. But Rolich looks to be their GC leader currently. He was 3rd in the Austrian junior road race just a few weeks ago. And the final team underway in this batch of 4, the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy. Here we go, Roman Kreuziger. Done a lot for Czech cycling, and there are 4 Czech riders making up this squad, including Marek Stiblik, 115 for the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy. And Stiblik, a very talented rider, and could well be their GC leader at this race. Had a good finish yesterday. He's 10th place in the GC. Has some very strong, solid results so far this year. And Stiblik for the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy is definitely a rider to watch at this year's race. Anyway, up the road, we're going to move on and focus on the Avia Ruduccio cycling team. There's been a few pronunciations of that, but Avia here with 5 riders. Like I said, they did lose Kobe Vaviat yesterday, unfortunately for them, but Senna Brady, Ian Kimper, Seppa Locke, Ter van der Velde, and Robert Masachok make up their 5 riders. Let's see how these guys go. Still all 5 riders together on this first lap of 3 of this 3-kilometer circuit. And of course, 9 kilometers here, but there's another stage later on today, stage 2B. So these riders can't empty the tank completely here today. They have 99 kilometers later as well. But first, the small deal of this team time, of course, is not going to be so small for riders targeting the GC at this race. And I'm sure almost everyone in the peloton will be hopeful of a good result here today to show themselves on a stage like this, one of the most prestigious junior races on the entire cycling calendar. And there is Avia crossing the line for their first of 3 laps. Avia still have their 5 riders together. We still wait to see if they have a real, genuine GC contender here for this race. Their best finishers on yesterday's stage, Ian Kimper and Robert Meisachuk. They were both in 29th and 31st place, respectively. As further back on the road, here is the Tiapolo NSN Devo team. One rider just off the back there. I don't think he'll be getting back on today. Like I said, they have Rolich, the Austrian, in 7th place currently in the GC. I'm sure they'll be looking after him. But like every run in this team time trial, we are focusing on the second team with the camera moto. And this is Avia Rodoiko. Downhill towards the uphill section again on their second lap of the circuit. Let's see if Avia can put a really good time in, maybe increase their riders' chances of a strong GC. Maybe that could be for Robert Masachuk. Like I said, their best finisher yesterday. And with 5 riders working well together here, Avia definitely have a good chance. A good chance of maybe even challenging Inuit's Carl Raskilde, who currently hold the top spots. As I believe we're still waiting for the times of the previous batch of 4. I think that was the Van Moor Logistics cycling team flashing through for their final lap. And we do have some time updates from the previous batch of 4. We'll come to them shortly, because here we have the Avia Rodoiko cycling team. 5 riders working well together. It's been a really solid time trial from these guys. We did see a few mishaps earlier on from the WWV team with a few broken train formations, not costing masses of time, but surely some energy and it all counts in a shortish time trial like this. As there we go, the latest results are on screen. And WWV, they did have that broken train formation. It's not going to matter. They're into first place. 9 seconds ahead of Groupama FDJ United. And both of those teams going in ahead of the previous leaders, Unoets Karl Raskilde. Groupama FDJ United as well, second place. Really good time from them previously. And actually Cams as well, just 2 seconds further back from Groupama FDJ. So the British team with all British riders, Cams at Majako, really doing a strong time trial as well. And this team time trial really brewing nicely, bubbling away, coming to the boil now. Let's see how these squads go. The Van Moor Logistics Cycling Team, Avia Rodaico Cycling Team, Tiapolo NSN, who are flashing now across the start-finish line to start their final lap of this circuit. 4 riders just about together, although the 4th just dropping off the back there for Tiapolo NSN. And the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy as well. On course at the moment. Like I said, with Marek Stiblik, who was 10th place yesterday, only at 14 seconds in the GC. He's a rider I think could definitely do well at this race this weekend. But for now, we continue to focus on the Avia Rodaico cycling team. The fans are really out in force now, especially on that corner. Lovely to see, supporting the next generation of pro athletes. And with former winners, the likes of Remco Evenepoel, Kiana Utschabrooks, we could definitely be seeing one of the next superstars of pro cycling on our screen today. There's confirmation, WWV, Hagen, Sperman, Jaco with the best time so far. Groupama FDJ in 2 seconds. Just 1 second ahead of Unoets Karl Raskilde and Cams Majako as well. Very, very tightly bunched in there with Crabber Destiny all separated. 2nd to 5th place separated by a matter of seconds. But a really good time by WWV. Despite them potentially leaving some time on the table. Their formation split briefly at points in their time trial. Shows how strong they were. As there you can see the top 5. Really good time by WWV, putting 9 seconds into the second best so far. And let's see if any of these teams can challenge WWV or even jump into the top 5. In a short stage race, only 4 stages, a team time trial like this is going to be crucial as here we go. Avia pushing up the final climb, the final drag to the line. They've had 5 riders working really well together today. Great to see. Great work by Avia. Finally, one of their riders starting to struggle to hold on, but he fights hard. Look at this. A great team effort by Avia. You love to see it by these young guys. They started with 5 riders in this team time trial, and they're actually going to finish with 5 riders pretty much all still together. Oh, I spoke too soon. We have 1 rider going down. 100 meters to go. Almost perfection from Avia, and their 4 remaining riders cross the line together. And you have to feel sorry for the rider from Avia Rodaico squad, who crashes with 100 meters to go in this 9-kilometer team time trial. That is such a shame. I hope he's okay. Hopefully he can finish. We're yet to see him across the finish line. Although I do believe he might be up now. Hopefully the other teams as well are aware of this. I'm not quite sure which rider it was from Avia. There you go. He's on the side of the road there. As now we have Tiapolo NSN crossing the line. 3 riders crossing the line together for Tiapolo NSN. And there you go. The Avia Rodaico rider. Couldn't quite see who it was there by his number on his back, but thankfully he will cross the finish line. He was fighting so hard to hold his teammate's wheel. And that's such a shame for the Avia Rodaico rider. Hopefully he's okay and is fit to continue this race. Just happy to see him across the line. That was potentially a hard fall as well. at maximum effort after 8.9 kilometers of time trialing. So we hope he's okay. And now we wait for the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy featuring Marek Stiblik. What sort of time can they do? Marek Stiblik in a good place in the GC so far. And a rider I think could do well at this race. But of course, he needs a strong team time trial. And here they come. Here they come. The Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy. I think that was Stiblik leading them across the line there as well. 5 riders pretty much all still together with 1 rider just crossing the line here for NSN. And here we have the final rider from Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy. Look at the gear. Cadence of about 45 to 50. Massive gear up that final climb just to push himself over the finish line. And there you have it. The next batch of 4 finished. And we wait to see how they've gone. We wait to see the time gaps. With a team time trial that really is hotting up nicely. Here at Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you're enjoying this start to it's going to be a beautiful festival of cycling this weekend. Hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. And yeah, we can enjoy today's 2 stages. We're being really treated at Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. First, we have the team time trial we're watching right now. And later on, the road race around Thimister as well. Hopefully, you'll all be joining for that one too. And we see how the GC progresses in this stage so far. Of course, currently we have WWV in number 1 position, pole position, the likes of Groupama FDJ United under 19 right behind. And we still wait to see exactly how the Van Moor Logistics team, Avia, Tiapolo NSN, and Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy have gone. Have any of them managed to take top spots? Well, there they are, the Decathlon CMA CGM under 19 squad. They will be among the next teams to go. And certainly one of the favourites for this team time trial, if not the favourites. Can they win this stage? They'll be going for victory, no doubt. The likes of Seth Van Kerkhoven, who was 8th place at this race last year in their squad. He'll be going for victory after a fantastic season so far, after moving over to Decathlon at CMA CGM. Before then, though, the Vanghi Tomasini Il Parata team. And here they come to the start line. Our penultimate batch of 4 teams underway. And this squad featuring Aitor Martinez, a rider who certainly has shown himself already as a junior. Very strong rider. There you can see their squad. The lone Spaniard in their team, number 138, Aitor Martinez Grosset. A rider I think could definitely challenge for a good position in the GC at this race. So crucial that him and his team, the Vanghi Tomasini Il Parata Club, have a good team time trial here today. for him and, of course, his teammates too. So we're really starting to see the pre-race, pre-stage favourites get underway now as we count down for Vanghi, Tomasini, Il Parata. When I say Aitor Martinez, they also have currently fifth place in the GC, Francesco Dall'Olio. That's number 134, as you can see on screen. Plenty of riders still up there in the GC. And away they go, the Vanghi, Tomasini, Il Parata squads, kicking off this penultimate batch of 4 teams. But now, rolling to the start line. Decathlon CMA CM under 19, who could be the favourites for this stage. It's either them or Gronka or Tueda who will be in the next batch of 4. So Ezra Bateman, Matisse Bonnet, Soren Breuer Jumar, Sun Lapan, Sindra Orholm Lonseth, and on the near side of our screen, the Belgian champion, Stef van Kerkova. Potentially the GC leader for this squad. They have plenty of options. Sun Lapan, the French national time trial champion at junior level. Van Kerkova, the Belgian time trial champion at junior level. And away go Decathlon CMA CGM. 5 riders left in the race. They're 1 rider down, but with their strength, I think they're going to have a fantastic time here today. Let's see. Let's see if they can potentially take top spots. Maybe wanting to put in a surprise here today are the Team Valloni juniors. The likes of ML Seegers and Emil Buota put in a really good performance yesterday. Again, a squad who are 1 rider down, like many teams already at this race. Losing Dimitri Neiskens yesterday, unfortunately. But the 5 remaining riders of Team Valloni get underway. The 3rd of 4 teams in this batch of 4, the penultimate batch of 4. And here we go. Here we go. Cannibal Victorious, the feeder squad for Bahrain Victorious World Tour team. And Sebastian Supi, the Estonian, currently 2nd place in the beaten by Bohak in the sprint yesterday. So Supi, the Estonian, in a good position to maybe even go into the GC lead if Cannibal Victorious puts in a superb time here today. Let's see. Let's see how they go. Supi on the near side. He was 2nd yesterday. The Estonian champion in the time trialing. Still with all 6 riders as well. And Cannibal Victorious gets underway. The final of our 4 teams in this batch of 4. Flying past the camera moso. There you go. Cannibal Victorious. And it looks like we're actually going to have a closer look at Cannibal Victorious in this team time trial, the last team underway, rather than Decathlon CMA CGM, who I think could definitely go into top spot following their time trial. Interesting. Very, very interesting, as we do have an updated leaderboard here. So from our previous batch, it's the Tiapolo NSN team into 6th place. They're the best from the previous batch of squads. The Van Moer Logistics Cycling team into 7th place. Also, the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy, 29 seconds down in 10th place. So from Marek Stiblik, my shout for a potentially good GC. Not the best time for the Roman Kreuziger Cycling Academy. But it's not disastrous either. And Avis, who we had a closer look at as well, or Avia, sorry. They're just a little further back, I think, at 32 seconds in the GC. As already Decathlon CMA CGM, in the blink of an eye, have completed one lap. These guys are flying. I'm sure of it. Seth Van Kerkhoven, Soorn Lapan, two of the favourites for this race in that team. But we're going to have a closer look at the Cannibal Victorious Cycling Academy here. Featuring Sebastian Supi on the back now, the Estonian champion. He was second in yesterday's stage. One of the slightly younger riders in this race. I know we're everyone's a junior here. Supi, 18 years old, one of the best riders last season for his age group. And the Estonian champion has had some really good results already this season. Winning a stage of the Buchla de Oyster Juniors race just last season. So yeah, really good rider is the Estonian champion. But now we get a look at the Team Valony Juniors squad coming across the start-finish line for the first time, completing one lap. They still have 2 laps to go, of course. And so, how are the Cannibal Victorious cycling team going to manage this? They have Sebastian Supi, second place in GC, via that breakaway yesterday. As we have lovely conditions, actually. It's fairly windy out on course, 20 kilometers an hour. Quite humid too, but 23 degrees. Not terribly hot for a race in the early weeks of August in summer here in Belgium. But anyway, back to Cannibal Victorious. They are going to complete their first lap just about in a few seconds. They have Supi up there. They still have 6 riders altogether here, so some great strength in numbers here for Cannibal. How are they going to approach this team time trial? Is Supi their man for the GC? We're going to find out very, very soon. He's certainly in the best position of all of their riders so far. And I get the feeling we're going to have some very quick times set by this batch of teams. The Vanghi Tomasini Il Parata squad featuring Aitor Martinez. Decathlon CMA CGM with Seth Van Kerkhoven and Soorn Lapan. They're en route to. What sort of time can they do? I think they're going to be very, very close to taking the lead, if not taking the lead in this time trial. Team Valony Juniors and now the Cannibal Victorious cycling team you can see on screen. 4 really strong squads. And there are Decathlon CMA CGM coming across the start-finish line to start their final lap. But looking back to Cannibal Victorious, still 6 riders from their squad altogether. So are they holding something back to keep all of their squad together? Are they going flat out and simply making the most of having 6 riders still together? We'll find out soon enough. But if you're just joining, welcome in to stage 2A of Aubel Thimister Stavelot. As you can see on screen right now, WWV Hagen Sperman Jaco setting the current benchmark. For a long time, Inuit's Carl Rasroskilde held the leads. They're in 3rd place now at 10 seconds. Groupama FDJ United under 19 as well in the top 3 at 9 seconds. But on course, we have some of the pre-race favourites right now. Decathlon CMA CGM, they would love to win this team time trial. They're midway round their final lap of this 3-kilometer circuit. And on screen right now, well, it was the Cannibal Victorious cycling team, but there is the Team Valony Juniors starting their final lap of the circuit. And now looking back to the Cannibal Victorious cycling team, the feeder team for Bahrain Victorious, of course, in the World Tour. And on the right-hand side, there is Sebastian Supi in the white Estonian champions jersey. He was second place on stage 1 of this race yesterday. A bit of a surprise behind my Bohak, the Slovenian, riding for Gronka Autoeda, who will be going in the final batch. They're the final team underway in this team time trial. Looking forward to seeing how they go. They won this stage last year at this year's race. But here are Cannibal Victorious under-19 development team starting their final lap. So, and look at that, still all 6 riders together for Cannibal Victorious. I don't think we've seen that from any team so far. Have 6 riders left as they start the final lap of this circuit. So 3K to go for Cannibal Victorious. Next to cross the line will be the Vanghi Tomasini Operata squad, sorry. Keeping our eyes currently, though, on Cannibal Victorious. And still 6 riders together. Very, very interesting by Cannibal. Sebastian Supi, second place in GC. Could he be going into the lead of this race after this stage? Well, with 6 riders still together, you just never know, do you? Really good ride, it looks like, by Cannibal Victorious. No intermediate time checks, by the way, in this team time trial here today. As now across the line, here come Vanghi Tomasini Operata, and dare I say it, could that have been, oh my word, there come Decathlon CMA CGM out of nowhere. 4 riders together, Van Kerkova and Le Pan were in there too. Oi, oi, oi. They flew out of that final corner, the Decathlon CMA CGM. Sun Le Pan was 4th place yesterday. Seth Van Kerkova, one of the pre-stage favourites as well. And wow, they flew out of that final corner. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Decathlon CMA CGM, I think, are going to go into the lead of this stage. And that looked like a wonderful time trial from what we saw by the Decathlon squads. Next to cross the line, though, will be Team Valony Juniors. They're further up the road. We're keeping our eyes on the Cannibal Victorious cycling team. There's a rider from the Team Valony Juniors dropping off the back. He's dropped by his squads. And still entering the final kilometre of this team time trial, Cannibal Victorious have 6 riders altogether. Unbelievable stuff. They've managed this potentially perfectly. With Sebastian Supi in that outfit, the Estonian national champion, 2nd place in the GC, 2nd place yesterday. He's in the white jersey there, in the middle of this pack. As here come Team Valony Juniors, 3 riders together, crossing the line. And we wait to see how good their time was. And now finally, 400 meters to go for Cannibal Victorious. Losing a couple of riders off the back, slowly but surely. So they're not going to have 6 riders all finishing together. This is Maxim Sharabatsky, the Ukrainian 101. Sebastian Supi just ahead in the white jersey, trying to hold the wheel of his teammates. And Supi 2nd place in the GC right now. Just about holding on his teammates' wheel. They had 6 riders starting this final lap, and Cannibal Victorious crossing the line with 3 riders together, featuring Supi, their 2nd place man in the GC. So really unleashing everything on that final lap of this circuit in Thimister. Core, that was exciting. Cannibal Victorious with, well, it looked like a strong ride, maybe conservative though. They had 6 riders together for a very long time. They didn't spend one rider completely and let him coast in early on in this time trial, like we've seen from some other teams. But Decathlon CMA CGM there, featuring Stefan Kerkova and also Sun Le Pan. They seem to finish very quickly, and they finished some way ahead of the teams behind them. And I think Decathlon CMA CGM may have gone into the lead of this team time trial here on stage 2 of Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. So, 21 teams down, 4 teams left here in Belgium. And who is going to win this team time trial? Really exciting team time trial it's becoming. And we wait to see exactly what the leaderboard is, the standings are after that recent batch of squads, with 4 teams left to go. There's the Van Moor cycling team debriefing. Looking quite relaxed. Nice to see. They put in a decent team. They're currently inside the top 10. Decent time, I should say. So, four teams left to go, featuring Soudal Quickstep under 19s. Should be up there, surely fighting for a good spot. And also, Gronka Auto Edda, a final team underway in this team time trial. The team that have won this race overall in the last 2 seasons as well. So, they'll be fighting for number 1 spot, I am sure of it. But it's been a good morning so far at stage 2A. Welcome if you're just joining. We did have one crash for a rider of the Avia squad. Luckily, he did get back on his bike. He crashed with 100 meters to go in this team time trial. Thankfully, he was able to continue on the limit, trying to hold his teammate's wheel. As we have a look there at the riders about to start their team time trial. There's the Soudal Quickstep under 19 squad. You can also see the Gronka Auto Edda squad on the left-hand side of your screen. Jag squad as well. They'll be next up to go. Right ahead of you. There they are. And we wait avidly to see the timings from that recent batch of squads. I think we'll have some good times there. Particularly Decathlon CMA CGM looked absolutely rapid. Absolutely rapid. But next up, 4 teams to go. And it will be the Jeg Skill DJR squad. Here they come. They're due to start at 11:57 CET, so a couple of minutes from now. They'll make their way to the start line. A team with multiple nationalities in their ranks. Ruben Friedel from Austria. I'm sure we'll get the full lineup on the screen very shortly. And they're a team who are in a strong position in the GC, actually. Jeg Skill DJR. 6 riders still in their squad as well. No DNF so far. And they have 2 riders within 20 seconds on the GC. That is Multha Reisberg from Denmark and Winand Boykers. So Multha Reisberg and Winand Boykers. 2 strong riders yesterday. They were 9th place and 13th place, respectively, joining that big breakaway group. All on Stavelot bikes here. Other Jeg SKIL DJR squad. And they will kick off this final batch of 4 teams in this stage 2A of Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. Let's see how they go. Some good teams to come now. Some really good teams. And the first of this final batch, Jeg Skill DJR getting underway. All 6 riders in their squad, flying off the start ramp. And straight into the next squad. Here they are, the Sudal Quickstep under-19 team. Of course, the feeder team to the big World Tour squad, Sudal Quickstep. They're a team with multiple options still in the GC, like many teams at this race. But again, they had two riders in that breakaway, Gauster and Maximilian Matisek. The Pole. You can see him there, third in from the left as we look at them. Victor Smet as well, riding for Sudal Quickstep, a very talented rider. A rider who won Liège-Bastogne-Liège Juniors earlier this season. So he'll like tomorrow's stage very much. But if he wants the chance of the GC, Victor Smet and Sudal Quickstep under 19 need a great team time trial here today. We do have some updated timing standings as well from the previous batch of squads. We'll come to that very shortly. Because next up, the Paul Cantu 1999 team. A team featuring Alessandro Battistoni, who was third place on yesterday's stage, the Italian. So Paul Cantu, another team with strong GC ambitions and a great position as well in the GC currently. These guys need a good time trial here today. The team solely made up of Italian riders, the Paul Cantu 1999 squad. Away they go. Away they go. In their all-white jerseys and shorts. Which means one team remain. One team remain here. And of course, it's the Gronka Auto Eder squad. The team featuring one of the pre-race favorites in Herzog. That's Karl Herzog, the brother of Emil Herzog, who rides for the big Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe squad. And also featuring Mai Bohak, the winner and race leader of yesterday's stage. A really good squad all in all. Josh Johnson from South Africa. Georg Tumins from Latvia as well. Really strong rider who likes a difficult race. And here we go. Gronka Auto Eder. I called them the favourites for this stage earlier on. They're last to leave the start. And away they go. Gronka Auto Eder. They've won this race overall in the last two seasons. Of course, with different riders. Let's see how they get on here, shall we? Maj Bohak from Slovenia, currently leading the race for Auto Eder. But they have so many options in the GC, it's beyond belief, really. So many strong riders here for this team. Like I said, Georg Tumins, definitely a rider to look out for. Karl Herzog as well, number 47. And here we have it, the updated standings from the previous batch of teams. And as I expected, Decathlon CMA CGM into the lead with their squad featuring Seth Van Kerkova and Sean Lepan, 13 seconds ahead of Vangi Tomasini Il Parata. That's the team of Aitor Martinez. So two teams from that previous batch beating WWV, and Cannibal victorious as well, with their tactic keeping 6 riders together for much of the time trial into 4th place, with Valony Juniors into 5th place. So 4 of the teams from the previous batch into the top 5. We saw some great times in that previous batch of teams. And I think we're going to see the same right here, because Jeg Skill DJR, Sudal Quickstep under 19, Paul Cantu, and then Gronka Auto Eder. The team on screen right now, the feeder team for the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe squad. They have the race leader in Maj Bohak. They've won this race overall in the previous 2 seasons. They won this time trial last season as well by a good margin, I believe, of 18 seconds. So Gronka Auto Eder, they have so much to their name as a junior squad. One of the best junior squads in the world, no doubt about it. with some of the most talented riders as well. And can they beat Decathlon at CMA CGM, who have just taken the lead of this team time trial with Sun Le Pan and Stefan Kirchhoff in their squad? Anyway, as you can see on screen, the men's Norwegian junior champion, Mads Furnes, on the left-hand side, just dropping back to the back of the group, number 7. There he is in his red Norwegian jersey. He was 15th place yesterday, actually leading in the big bunch from behind. So Mads Furnes as well, this Norwegian rider, could definitely be, you wouldn't have maybe called him the lead option for Auto Edda, but maybe he could be their GC play. They have so many riders. All of their riders really are capable of challenging here. And of course, Maj Bohak, the Slovenian rider, number 3 on his back, leading this race after winning yesterday's stage. So that's one lap down for Gronka Auto Edda. Looks to be going very nicely so far, still with 6 riders altogether. And can they beat Decathlon CMA CGM, who hold a handsome lead of 13 seconds at the top of the leaderboard right now? Keeping a close eye here on Gronka Auto Edda, the feeder club for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Now on this downhill section of the course, a section where having a big ruler with massive power can really help pull your climbers into the climbing section of the course. Now we have this S section with a few technical corners. Important not to wipe too much speed off, but also keeping it safe and on the roads. Maj Bohak, will he still be in the lead of this race after today's stage? Well, we have 2 stages today, so let's... But Maj Bohak holds a 14-second lead at the start of the day on Sun Le Pan, who is the best placed Decathlon CMA CGM rider. So, Gronka Auto Edda need to finish within 14 seconds of Decathlon to hold on to the race lead after today's stage, but I'm sure they want more than that. I think they want the stage win here. Great work by Gronka Auto Edda, still with 6 riders altogether. About halfway through this 9-kilometer course now, 1.5 laps complete for them. On the back here, South African national champion Joshua Johnson. You can see with his South African flag on his jersey, many national champions in this squad in the time trialing discipline at junior level, of course. And Josh Johnson might be gone here. I believe Josh Johnson is gone. So South African champ Joshua Johnson is drops. He's done his work. And unlike Cannibal Victorious in this time trial, Gronka Auto Edda won't have 6 riders altogether starting the final lap. But now, starting their final lap, Paul Cantu, 1999, here they come. Only 3 riders together for them. They've spent a few of their cards already, spent a few of their matches. A few of their riders are off the back. But now another look at Gronka Auto Edda. Can they beat Decathlon CMA CGM? That's the question. Mads Furnes on the back, the Norwegian national champion. And they have 75 meters to go to complete their second of 3 laps. That's Georg Tumins, the Latvian champion, on the back here. A rider, like I say, who really likes a hard race. I think could be a good play for them in the GC, but they have so many options, including race leader Maj Bohak. and Gronka Auto Eder have less than 3 kilometers to go. Can they take top spots on stage 2A? Here are Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. That's the big question. That is the big question, and we wait to find out. Still working nicely together, a very structured train formation on the roads. And soon we will have Jeg Skill DJR crossing the line. All of these 4 teams on the road right now have players in the GC. They're up there, they're in the top 10. They're maybe leading the race in the case of Gronka Auto Eder. So this is crucial moments here for Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. And here we go. We cut to the finish line. And here come Jeg Skill DJR crossing the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, we've missed them. Jeg have already crossed the line, and that's under 19 crossing the line. 4 riders altogether there. So we didn't actually see Jeg Skill DJR across the line. We cut straight to Sudal Quickstep under 19, unless they've overtaken Jeg, which I somewhat doubt. But looks like a good time by Sudal Quickstep, and I tell you what, it looks like a fantastic time by Gronka Auto Eder. They are catching Pulkantu on the road here. The team up the road, Italian riders, they only have 3 riders working together. And look at the speed difference of Auto Eder flying past the team who started a minute ahead of them. You can see now, Jeg Skill put in a great time. They're second at 10 seconds. Great time by Jeg. And it looks like a horrible time trial by Pulkantu. Unless this is the rider's drops, it could well be. Let's see. Let's see. But Gronka Auto Eder are on a flyer. I can tell you too, Sudal Quickstep under 19 into second position. Only 4 seconds behind Decathlon on the roads. So Decathlon CMA CGM still in the leads. I don't think we have Sudal Quickstep's standings there updated. Here we go. Here we go. Here is Pulkantu. I thought they couldn't have been dropped by so much, but Pulkantu crossed the line. Their leading riders crossed the line at least. And Sudal Quickstep, now you can see updated, 3 seconds behind Decathlon at CMA CGM. But I fear they're all going to be beaten by Gronka Auto Eder. They won this team time trial last year. They've won this race in 2 previous seasons. And here come Gronka Auto Eder across the line in this team time trial. Have they won the stage? Let's see. They're leading the race already with Maj Bohak. And with the likes of Carl Herzog and Gail Tumins in their team, a really strong outfit. Are they going to have won stage 2A and beaten Decathlon CMA CGM? That's the question. We see a few riders now from Pulkantu crossing the line. These were the riders dropped, not the leading riders from Pulkantu. Not their GC riders. So, who has won stage 2 of Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot? Decathlon CMA CGM currently hold the lead. They've held off Jeg Skill DJR. They've held off Sudal Quickstep under 19. And only Pulkantu and Gronka Auto Eder remain. Well, we don't have an update on the timing screen. But I do believe we do have some results with Pulkantu finishing in 10 minutes 45. That's 36 seconds behind Decathlon CMA CGM. So not a great time from those guys. And there it is. Gronka Auto Eder in 3rd place in the GC. So Decathlon CMA CGM have won stage 2A of Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. A massive ride by man. And of course, Seth Van Kerkhoven racing for Decathlon CMA CGM. And Gronka Auto Eder only 3rd place at 6 seconds. Wow. Who saw that one coming today? Decathlon CMA AGM 3 seconds ahead of Sudal Quickstep and Gronka also Eder at 6 seconds in third place. That was a thoroughly entertaining stage 2A of Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. And based on these results, I do believe that Maj Bohak still holds the overall lead of the race. Gap to Soren Lepan, and also Gauch there for Sudal Quickstep, and also Maximilian Matasiak, both riders for Sudal Quickstep, and then Soren Lepan for Decathlon. They're going to have closed in to Maj Bohak in the GC. So we're really starting to see the GC shape take place now. That's a massive ride by Decathlon CMA CGM. Soren Lepan is their best placed rider in the GC, but also Stefan Kirkova, Sindre Orholm Lornseth, and Suren Bruere. Really good ride by all of those guys. Ezra Bateman too, and Mathis Bonnet for Decathlon CMA CGM. They win the Stage 2A Team Time Trial here at Aubel, Thimister, Stavelot. So the podium preparing for the first of 2 awards to be given out today. Of course, we'll have later Stage 2B. I hope you're all looking forward to that here on the Safe Cycling YouTube channel. That was a thoroughly entertaining Stage 2A, won by Decathlon CMA CGM Under-19 squad, 3 seconds ahead of Sudal Quickstep Under-19 and 6 seconds ahead of Gronka Auto Eder. So 3 of the big World Tour development squads making up the top 3 today. And Decathlon CMA CGM, they don't hold the race lead. Gronka Auto Eder with Maj Bohak still hold the lead, but we have a very, very interesting situation and very enjoyable race unfolding here at Aubel Thimister Stavelot. So I hope you guys will join us later today for Stage 2B at this race. It's going to be fun. That was a really enjoyable Stage 2A. And we'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed watching. See you later on. Thank you everyone for watching.